Hi, I'm Casandra Koistinen. I've been a member of Hope Chapel since January 2006. Recently, I did a deployment to Iraq. When I first went to Iraq, my first 4 months there were pretty hard in the sense that I didn't have a church family really. I didn't have any mini church, and I was kind of stuck on the night shift, which didn't really help me, and I didn't get a lot of fellowship that I needed and I knew I needed. And I kind of went around thinking that there's, God's not doing anything in this place and there's nothing going on, it's all this horrible news. But finally, when I let go and just kind of let God take control, it was completely amazing because literally the next day my whole entire job changed. I got moved to the day shift, and as soon as that happened, I got involved in church. I started going to a Bible study. I mean, that's really where I really found my home, was in that Friday night Bible study, and I had an awesome mentor that I looked up to. As she was getting ready to leave, she asked me to take over her Bible study. And the cool thing about that is when I initially went to Iraq, I knew I was supposed to lead a Bible study, but God specifically told me that I'm not supposed to start it. It's supposed to be something that's going to be handed to me. And even though I was supposed to be leaving in 2 months, I prayed about it. I really felt that God told me to extend in Iraq, and I prayed about it, and I came back from my leave, and I'd asked my captain, I was like, sir, I'd like to stay here longer if possible. And it worked out, and the Lord allowed me to stay there an extra 3 months. And in that time, I also became really close friends with one of the females at church who just recently got there. And after the first night of us, the women joining together, I asked Reagan, I was like, I think I need to talk to you because I feel the Lord telling me some things. And pretty much what I told her is that she was here, she was supposed to be specifically designed to lead the women's Bible study, and that she would see a lot of miraculous things happen in the women's Bible study. And after that, my task with her was to be her mentor. We tried to lead a Bible study, and I was trying to help her with it, and she's like, well, I'd kind of like more of a guide to go off of instead of just trying to come up with lessons every single week. And so I called back to my mini church or emailed them, and I asked if they'd be willing to send some books out, and they jumped right on that. And we had about 2 weeks from then, we had books for the whole entire women's Bible study, and the women just kept growing. I think we started with 6, and by the time we left, we were at like 30 women in the Bible study, and it just continues to grow as women leave, more people come. And then I took over the Friday night Bible study, and I made so many great friends, and a lot of them were Kenyans that came. I had one Iraqi woman that came. I had some Ugandans that came. A lot of them were actually civilians more than military that came to that Bible study. And the Kenyans really blessed me because, I mean, those men and women knew the Bible like as the back of their hand. It was amazing. And one of the ladies in the Bible study, one of her prayer requests was that she wanted a better prayer life. And I was like, oh, that reminded me of Ralph's book. So, I emailed Ruby and I said, hey, your husband wrote this book, Prayer Dare to Ask. Is there any way we could get a couple copies? And so she sent probably about 30 copies out and gave them to all the women. Every single woman in there was just like, this is an amazing book, and it opened their life to a whole new way of prayer. And it was just amazing to see that. I had groups within the Friday night Bible study, a guy that had the opportunity to witness even more to the Iraqi woman. She lived near the base in Baghdad that we were at, and he was able to get out to her house and help build like walls and do stuff like that for her. And she invited him and some other folks from our Bible study to her house one night for dinner because her parents were there, and they actually let them pray, and she was Muslim. And I just thought that was so amazing that they were very grateful that we were there, and they were just even more amazed, and our prayer life and our devotion to God, and they were just amazed by that. One of the guys also, he had his church send Bibles out, and I think by the time I left he had given out more than 150 Bibles to either Kenyans there, Peruvians there, some of the guards, some of the Iraqis we worked with, and it was just amazing to see just that God is doing good things out there. No matter what you think about the war in Iraq, it's, what we got to think about is, how God is using it. If you look at all the people that are there right now, whether it's uniformed military members from the U.S., from other foreign countries, and just civilians that are coming from other foreign countries in there that are Christians, that are spreading the gospel throughout the land of Iraq, I think is totally awesome. Really, God's using Iraq as a missionary ground for us, and us being Christians, for the church to go out there and minister, and I think that's an awesome thing.